Hey everyone, Friday, March 16th and Saturday, March 17th mark 2018's edition of Manitoba Metal Fest, brought to you by Ninja Cat Productions and the Park Theatre. This year's lineup features bands like our friends in Cancer Bats, a one-time-only reunion show of Damascus, Waster, Inverted Serenity, Escape from Echo Base, and Malevolent Hand, and that's only the first day. On the Saturday, you have Demolition Hammer playing their first time ever in Winnipeg, Skeletal Remains, Endless Chaos, Untimely Demise, Skunk, and Rectify. Tickets are available online at Ticketfly, or locally at the Park Theatre, or Into the Music Osborne.
You're listening to Garbage Hill, Winnipeg's first podcast network.
Alright, welcome to Witchpolice Radio. I am your regular host Sam, and occasional co-host Ryan is back for the first time in a while.
Yeah, he's back.
So that was very pathetic sounding. Yeah, he's back.
Winter tried to kill him.
Yeah.
And it's still cold out.
You survived and you got a vest.
And I got coffee.
Yeah.
So
So it's all good. And we are here with an artist whose CD I first heard, I guess, a few months ago now.
Yeah.
And which was kind of cool. Thanks for getting me the advance to listen to it. It was definitely kind of neat. And I guess the timing of this one is good because you have a CD release show coming out very soon. Yeah. But before we get into any of that, why don't you introduce yourself and we'll sort of go from there.
Okay, cool.
Well, you know what? His name is very much not phonetic how it looks on the page, so I don't want to screw it up. I think I got it right last time I mentioned it, but I'm a little uneasy, so I don't want to,
my name is Gerrit Delaquis. There's other ways, I'm sure. I've heard it all kinds of different ways.
Yeah,
that's how you say it.
Cool.
Gerrit Delaquis.
All right.
Yeah.
And you have an album called Calm Cloud?
That's right, yeah. Coming out next month, March 10th.
Cool. Which might be this month by the time you hear this, but yeah, it'll be coming out March 10th. And like I said, I first heard it a couple months ago, and I get the impression it's been around for a while before that too.
Yeah.
So how long have you been actually working on this prior to actually getting it released?
Right, yeah, I actually started recording it over 4 years ago now, and I've been, it's just been a long road, finally getting close.
Yeah.
I'm getting like Facebook notifications. You want to post this from 4 years ago, and so
like when you were still working on it.
Yeah. Like recently, it's like, this post from 4 years ago. Do you want to share it? And it's
the memory in there.
So it's like, oh man, it's that's pretty old already.
Yeah.
But
so I guess what's the reason for taking this long to do? Is it just trying to perfect it, or has it been?
It was so basically when I started recording it, I just had the main guitar line, and then the main vocal line ready to go.
Okay.
So there's 10 tracks on there. So even just recording that alone took a little while.
Sure.
Had a buddy that helped me. But then basically I'd go and do whatever I can, record a few tracks, go back home, and then write a bass line and a banjo line or something, go back. And so that took quite a while.
Just all the back and forth adding in. Yeah.
And we'd only be able to meet up like maybe once a week or so, and put in like a few hours, and then just kind of go home and write stuff. And that was a big part of why it took a while.
Sure.
Lots of other aspects that took a while too, even just like getting the artwork done.
Yeah.
You kind of...
Well, it's cool artwork too. It's like a little painting of, I'm assuming it's supposed to be you on a raft.
Really neat guy that I got in touch with through my tattoo artist, Jeremy Makita. He referred me over to him, and the artist that did the artwork on the album, that's Dave Pruden. He's pretty involved with like the Fringe Festival and stuff.
Okay, cool.
But he also does like children's books and stuff like that. So
I can see it based on the cover. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's very
really
cool.
neat. I don't know him overly well, but really good experience with the guy, and he actually lives in the same building as Fred Penner.
Oh, cool.
And kind of reminds me of just Fred Penner in general.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives you an idea of what he's like.
I wonder if we did like a chart of people who live around Fred Penner and people turning slowly into him, if we could come up with some sort of bizarre science fiction.
Might be.
Fred Penner.
He just rubs off on people so much.
Right?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's a bad thing.
No.
I'm just saying
if someone's gonna influence you that way, Fred Penner's a good choice for sure.
Yeah. Penner.
So you mentioned adding the bass lines and banjo lines and things like that. Obviously, based on listening to the album, you play a lot of stringed instruments.
Yeah.
So how many instruments do you play, I guess, first of all?
Definitely my main would be acoustic, and then not too far behind that would be, I guess, bass and banjo, ukulele. They're all kind of in the same pile.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been playing mainly guitar for like 16 years, and bass played like in the jazz band back in high school.
Like a stand-up bass or?
No, it was electric, just a regular style kind of bass and trombone and stuff like that. But anyways, I'm getting kind of off.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, in grade 10, I guess, I kind of dropped the trombone, and then I got a little bit more into the strings, and it just kind of grew from there.
Okay. So guitar was like the main one, and you kind of branched off from.
Yeah. So like banjo and ukulele, they're still fairly new to me. Like I didn't maybe play on them, and definitely not as regularly as acoustic. Probably, I guess 4 years ago the album started, and then at least a couple years before that I kind of played around on them and stuff like that. So.
As someone who plays guitar and bass fairly poorly, I'm talking myself here. Like how easy is it to transfer those skills, of being able to play guitar over to banjo? I mean, ukulele, I've played around with a bit. I kind of get how that transitions, but banjo seems like it's related, obviously, but it seems like it's a bit different. A lot of different things going on with that.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely related, but it's also, from what I've found out, it's definitely like a whole other world too at the same time.
Yeah,
and
that's what I've always kind of taken away from it.
You play banjo too?
No, just watching people who play guitar pick up a banjo
and then trying to play like a guitar, and it doesn't.
I feel like there's a lot more dimension to it.
Yeah, like I guess the tuning alone is way different. Then you got this weird like half string on the top.
It's
just, kind of bizarre. I basically took. I don't have any banjo training. I just kind of took my fingerstyle playing, and I also don't have actual training in that either.
Okay,
I just all kind of self-taught by learning songs and stuff like that. And so I'm kind of like an acoustic figure-style player playing banjo. Like I'm not really a
banjo player per se.
Yeah. And, when you got like the really good banjo players, you can tell it's like almost like a trained thing.
Yeah, right. So you've just taken the fingerstyle guitar stuff over to banjo. And,
So it's kind of like a different sound, I guess.
Which is kind of cool though, right? Because you get your own vibe out of it instead of just the standard. Okay, here's the banjo lesson number 1 sort of thing, right?
Yeah. I would definitely like to get more into learning a little bit more, how to explain it, like a real banjo player.
Yeah.
I want to say traditional, but I don't feel like traditional and banjo go hand in hand.
I think traditional and banjo almost always go hand in hand together.
Well, but the imagery that comes in my head is not something.
Do you mean old timey?
No, I mean like I don't know, backwoodsy.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. So do you I'm assuming you write on guitar then and sort of add the other things after the fact? Is that?
Yeah. So far it's been pretty much all writing on the acoustic.
Okay.
Starts from there mostly.
And do you add? I mean, does everything? I'm just trying to think back to the album, and I mean, a lot of the songs have all of those instruments. Maybe not ukulele as much, but guitar, banjo, and bass for sure.
Yeah.
And is that kind of, are you trying to always kind of flesh those out once you write the song in acoustic? Is it sort of now how can I develop this further with the other instruments? Or I guess the question I'm sort of badly getting at here is are there songs that when you write it on acoustic guitar, you kind of know, okay, this is going to have this banjo part? Or do you sort of add that in well after the fact? Like
this album was definitely kind of well after the fact.
Okay.
It just kind of molded from there. And it was cool because I've done little recordings in the past, and I was never a banjo or ukulele. I didn't have that like option of adding variety into the sound. And so this time it was a lot of fun to just experiment. It was a lot of experiments. We had like a ton of fun making it too, and hopefully it gives off that impression too. I hope that people listening actually like have a bit of a fun time.
Well, for sure, that's what you want, right?
Yeah.
So when you're playing it live, I mean, you have the show coming up, and obviously, you're going to be doing more live shows in the future. How does that work? I mean, how big is the band that you're using? Is it the same? Is it the same people every time, or are you doing some solo shows, some band shows, or what's the plan for that?
So far it's been a lot of solo shows, and I get Kelsey plays songs with me, and Kyle from Busy Mystics.
Okay, yeah. He's been on the show too,
Yeah, he's going to be playing the bass at the CD release.
I think I saw him in the picture, in the photo of their band, yeah.
So, and that's kind of more the sound I'm trying to evolve into, is like the full band sound, but there's been a lot of solo shows. And then Kelsey gets involved as much as she can, and she's so busy too. I'm trying to like get everybody involved, and I guess it's been tough. And
on their actual album, though, how many more players are there? Is it mostly just you, or
I got sidetracked there? On the album itself, a lot of it's myself. Yeah. And then the female is Kelsey.
Yeah. And she's on most of the songs, I guess. Like a lot of them.
She's on three of the songs.
Okay.
A couple of those tracks are instrumental, so there's
there's no vocals at all. Yeah.
So I guess like 8 of the songs are like full sound and all that, but she's on 3 of those. And then Kyle was ripping some solos in there too, and
cool.
He got kind of involved with adding percussion and stuff like that. We got very experimental with that, using just household stuff we could find.
Nice.
Cookie tins and stuff like that.
Yeah, that'll work, right?
yeah, so it made for a crazy noise. Another, we used we used a bird recording of a budgie.
Okay.
So that's another guess.
Like someone's pet?
Yeah, it was like one of my sister's pet, but it was kind of like a family pet too. I know when we were having breakfast and stuff, we'd play music and he would kind of join along and sing along.
Right.
So I was lucky enough to get an audio recording of him singing along. And shortly after that, the bird passed away.
Okay, so you got it preserved on tape. That's cool. That's very cool, yeah.
So that's another guest that's on there, and it was a lot of fun.
How does it translate to the live band? I mean, are the arrangements significantly different from how you've played them on the album once you're getting more people involved, or is it fairly true to the recordings?
This, for right now, I'm going to hopefully kind of replicate the album as close as possible.
Okay. And how much work has that been to sort of teach everyone else? Especially if you did most of it yourself, right?
Yeah, it's been a crazy battle. I'm lucky to have like some really great players with me, and that's making things a whole lot easier.
Okay.
And but kind of sidetracked again here. What I'm even talking about.
It's okay. So I guess like one of the things that I took away from it when listening to it, and I don't know if this is accurate at all, but it sounds like, and I think I mentioned this when I did my little video thing about it, it sounds like someone playing folk music who listens to a lot of punk rock. And I don't know if you do, but there's something about kind of the pacing of it and kind of the attitude of it too that gives me a punk vibe. And I don't know if that's where you're coming from at all, but I wanted to find out because, it seems like that's what I heard in it anyway.
Yeah, there's definitely some of that into it. Like I can't say I've listened to like a ton of punk rock, but I do really like the genre. And like one of my first albums was an Offspring album, and so that was right there, was right into it. And even like before that was like Weird Al, and I feel like I was thinking about that the other day because I thought this kind of question might come up, and I was like, what did I used to listen to? And thinking about Weird Al, it's like that's almost adding, because some of the songs on the album are kind of funny. And so I kind of feel like Weird Al actually might have influenced some of that. Is thinking
like subconsciously it's stuck in there.
I feel like for an entire generation of us, Weird Al influenced.
Yeah.
Oh, probably. Totally.
I can't hear Beat It without hearing Eat It.
Yeah, totally.
It's like the first thing that comes to mind.
There's a few songs like that. Actually.
Yeah.
There are some songs I know better by the Weird Al versions than I do with the originals. For sure.
Yeah. And like every so often, those songs still pop in your head, and it's like, it's still there.
Yeah, sure.
He does what he does well. That's for sure.
Yeah.
get up every day, I go to work, I reminisce, I think about the friends I miss, I think about the girl I never got to kiss. At the end of the day, I go home to my igloo, I warm up in my igloo, I cool off in my igloo. The sun comes up and melts my covers away, puts a smile on my face, it knows exactly what I crave. There ain't a minute to waste, so get up and get down, don't fake it and get out. I think it's about time for moving on. I think it's about time. And on and on. And on and on. And on and on. And on. I think it's about time for on and on. And on and on. And on and on. And on. I think it's about time for on and on. And on and on. And on and on. And on. I think it's about time for on and on.
Do you have a background, like, as far as folk music goes? Like, is that something you've been into for a while, or that you've had experience playing, or is this sort of a new thing altogether?
I'd say it's a newer thing. Kind of got into, like, I used to listen to, like, a lot of just heavy screaming stuff.
Okay.
That's what a lot of it was. Like, actually, I used to love, like, Deftones and Slipknot and
a
little bit of Dillinger and stuff like that. And then another side of it was, like, Incubus, I Mother Earth kind of phase and stuff like that. And all that music's still good now, but then I kind of started to get into, like, City and Colour, and learning a lot of his songs helped improve my vocals. Vocal style, like, a lot.
But that's almost a guy coming from a punk rock background and transitioning to folk music too, right? So that makes sense. Yeah. And
then just, like, in general, fingerstyle players, like some of the greats, like Tommy Emmanuel and, like, Chet Atkins and stuff like that. Okay. Jerry Reed, I mean, I listened to a little bit of that. I'm not even overly familiar with them either, but and even just, like, general Instagram players that you just kind of search fingerstyle players, you get some of the amazing players.
Just some guy sitting there with a camera, kind of, yeah. That's cool.
So I guess that's kind of where folk. I mean, can't say I've, like, overly familiar with the folk scene or anything like that, but it's kind of coming into play and digging in deeper.
Well, folks, I mean, this happens with a lot of genres of people we talk to on here. The folk is so vague because there's like 7,000 other subgenres and everything that fit into that.
Right.
So it's, I mean, if you say a folk artist, it can mean any of 100 things, right? So
yeah.
But you're saying you don't really think you fit in with the folk scene here. Is that just because you haven't got out enough to start sort of get involved? Or?
Yeah, I think I'd fit right in. Yeah. I think I'd fit right in, actually. I know I would.
Because Winnipeg is a very strong, like, roots folk kind of scene, right? I mean, there's so many artists here from here that, like, you have gone on to better things or are still here and still plugging away, like that. That kind of times change sort of, vibe there. So
right. I'm trying to kind of, especially even more in, like, the last few months, I'm trying to just, like, dig in deeper and deeper and kind of start following bands that are similar style and podcasts and stuff like that and video, and just really trying to get into the scene and get in there, and make friends. And
had you been involved in the local music scene prior to this? Like, had you been in any bands, kind of other styles or whatever before this? Or
yeah, it was. We used to be in a trio band with Kyle, actually, and I played bass in that, and Kyle was a guitar player, and we both did vocals.
Okay.
Our drummer was like kind of like a tech metal band.
Okay, so it's very far cry from what you're doing now, I guess.
Yeah. So, like, I knew some people and some bands from more in that scene, and then I kind of just, the band kind of fell apart, and I kind of fell right out. And Kyle stayed in it. He just talk about Kyle a lot, but Kyle's actually. Like,
well, hopefully you're listening, Kyle.
Yeah. Shout out to Kyle. Yeah. He's one of my best friends, and he helps me along the way a lot too.
Cool.
Advice and stuff like that.
Cool.
Good guy to have around.
Does any of those influences, like, they, like you were just describing the band you were in, you mentioned earlier, things like Slipknot and all that. Yeah. Does any of that, do you hear any of that in what you're doing now? Like, is there any influences from that, even if they're subtle or weird, that sort of bleed into what you're doing now?
I think so.
And then I guess what? how? Like,
yeah. I guess, like, not as dark as, like, some of those bands would be, but, like, definitely I like to add some twists in the songs. More, I guess, like, lyrically.
Okay.
A couple lines here and there to kind of just confuse, but also open up to other listeners that might hear that kind of weird line and be like,
oh, this sounds familiar. It's twig something in my brain. Yeah.
So, and I'd say definitely with like a lot of my songs are fairly technical, I guess. And,
yeah.
And I think a lot of that came from like the more like metal, hard rock kind of scene.
That makes sense for sure. Well, there's a lot. There's like, I mean, technical is a good term for it too. But I just feel like there's a lot of playing in a lot of your songs. Like, there's just a lot going on, right? I mean,
I know.
I think it's because the guitar and then the bass and the banjo on top of that, and ukulele. Like, there's so many strings coming at you. So there's so many layers to it. So that makes sense that maybe that you're coming from more of a metal background because. That's probably what you'd think of most, that or like jazz fusion or something in terms of the detail of playing. Yeah, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a very common thing for people in the folk scene. There's a lot of people who come from punk, and this is why I asked about that. There's a lot of people who used to be in punk bands or are still in punk bands and do acoustic shows just because they have these songs that don't work with whatever their band is. Tons of them.
Country or folk seems to be like the natural progression.
Right, the punks, you get to our age. And exactly.
Well, your friends are dying from overdoses, whatever.
And then you
still want to go on the road, so.
Exactly, yeah. So it's, that's what I was wondering. I was like, I don't know. did he come from this? Because I've had some other people on recently too, and the same thing. It's like, I was in a punk band, now I do folk music. But, I mean, metal band, folk music, maybe not too much of a stretch.
Yeah.
From punk. That's cool, though, actually. That's cool. How have you, how has the reception been for your stuff so far? I mean, especially as someone doing this solo and coming from a very different style of music, have you had good response to what you're putting out there?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't put a lot out there yet. I have,
right. But you played some shows and stuff, right? You got your name out there a little bit. And,
we haven't done any shows like full band yet, so this will be the first one.
Okay.
So it's kind of exciting, but
wait and see, I guess, right?
Yeah. It's been a lot of just smaller shows, I guess, cafes and stuff like that with smaller groups.
Yeah.
And it's kind of neat. Like, I actually did a show, not a show, open mic night. I actually really like Garage Cafe. It's just a really nice place to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I've met some really cool players in there.
Yeah, tons of locals around there too. Right? Like, it's cool. A good scene.
Yeah. I'm sure Kaylee's being missed because she's having a kid pretty soon.
Okay.
She was the I guess the main person running that on Tuesdays.
Okay.
And she's another good connection to have too.
Well, that's one thing about Winnipeg too is that like I feel like with a few exceptions, of course, most people are super keen to help someone, especially if they're starting out too. Everyone's just like, oh yeah, here's a show, like come on my show. It's really nice to see that. Yeah. That's still a thing. I mean, I talk to people who are like 15 years younger than me, and still that's happening. And it's like, oh, that's cool. That's what was happening when I was, your age in a band and kind of thing. And it's cool to see that still going strong. I don't know if maybe it's the same in every scene, but I always associate it with being a Winnipeg thing, a Winnipeg sort of underground thing where everyone's just kind of trying to help each other out. It seems pretty consistent.
Yeah, I feel like it probably happens all over the place.
Probably does, yeah.
So. Anyway, it would be very disheartening to find out that it doesn't happen.
It would actually,
all over the place. But yeah, I mean, open mic nights have really blown up throughout the city in the past 5-10 years.
For music and for comedy and for everything else.
So it's super righteous. Yeah,
it's cool.
Be able to get out. And I mean, seasoned players with newcomers and people who are transitioning from one scene to another. And so it's always cool to see.
It is good, yeah.
Always love good open mic. You just never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah.
Well, and you could discover something amazing, too. You could discover something where it's just like, you see the guy sitting in the corner all night, and you don't expect he's going to come up there, and he gets up there and just, what is this? Like, where did where'd you come from? Why are you not famous?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's cool.
I come from Winnipeg.
Yeah, exactly. I've been sitting in this bar. I've been sitting at this bar every night for the past 20 years. That's probably the answer to the question. Yeah, for sure. when you bring it with a live band, I mean, obviously you haven't done this yet. You're doing it at the Studio A show, but how does the performing aspect of it change for you? Because you're used to doing shows where it's just you solo with an acoustic guitar, I imagine, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Are you playing acoustic in the band, or are you just?
I'll be switching around, kind of between strings.
Okay.
So a lot of it will be acoustic, and I guess a few songs at least will be banjo.
Okay.
And there was going to be some ukulele, but unfortunately my ukulele kind of has a really big. I guess with the humidity, opened up the case the other day, and it was just like the track down the middle, but I brought it down anyway.
There's a lot of ukulele players in Winnipeg. I'm sure you could find someone to fill in if you needed to last minute, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of ukulele.
There's a ukulele club, remember?
Yes, I remember. They did not like me.
No, they didn't like you, no. Because you described a ukulele as a small guitar, and they were not happy with that.
I don't know what I did. That's why I'm not allowed to be in public anymore.
No.
I remember somebody yelling at me to shut up, and I was like, "This is the meanest ukulele club." Like, of course, Winnipeg's got the toughest ukulele club.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, now that you have the vest, though, you might be able to stand up.
Who knows? We'll see. Just open invitation to any of the ukulele club members if you want to come play chess at my house. Bring your own board and pieces, but we will have a talk.
How about the ukuleles? You can have a ukulele summit.
Yeah. We'll have a talk. I'm like super toughing it up, but you could maybe learn me some knowledge on the ukulele.
Yeah. So, when is the actual? It's the 10th of March, right?
The 10th of March.
Where is it happening?
Actually doing it at the Garage Cafe.
Okay, cool.
Le Garage Cafe.
Yeah.
It's okay. I don't speak French either.
People know what you mean. People know what you mean. Yeah.
Wonder if anyone's like, no, you're saying it wrong. Or...
It's probably someone. Yeah.
So many angry emails that we can't read anyway.
Yeah. I can read them.
Oh, you can read French.
Yeah.
Just not speak it.
I just don't speak it because my accent is terrible.
I
can speak it and read it, but I don't like to speak it because I feel embarrassed because I sound super Anglo.
Yeah.
I sound like Jean Chrétien speaking English.
Yeah.
So it's brutal. I mean, the words are right, but mostly. But it's this incomprehensible, like, I am so English that, it doesn't... But anyway, the show. March 10th. Who else is on the bill?
We got the guys from June Killing Stone.
Okay, cool.
The Letkeman brothers.
They do a bunch of acoustic stuff now, right?
Yeah,
I think I keep seeing
I've been seeing posters around town.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see what they're going to bring, because you never know for sure what they're going to bring.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll bring a ukulele.
Yeah.
Maybe they will, and then you're covered, yeah.
I was talking to them... because I went to the benefit show for Tim.
Right, the other one the other day, and Tom Spaceball played, and there was a lot of thing.
Yeah, Screaming Traffic was there.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that was a great event. I was really happy to just be part of that, just to be there.
Yeah. Well, that's a perfect example of the scene helping each other out, right?
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of bands helping another band, but the guy's got some health issues, right?
Pretty much anytime anything happens to somebody in the local
people get together
scene,
and
put something together for him. Yeah,
it's cool. Everyone stayed right to the very end, and
that's awesome.
And then Josh went up and made a little speech and handed over what they raised that day, and everyone was just clapping, and it was so positive. It was good.
That's awesome.
But so we got them, and he was talking about bringing some other guests too.
Cool.
So I'm really excited about that.
Cool.
And then Kelsey, my girlfriend, and her good friend Crystal, they're doing a belly dance performance kind of in between the music. So
cool.
Add a little variety in there.
Yeah, that's unusual, I guess.
Sounds like a crazy session.
It does. Sounds
pretty
good.
Cool. Yeah. Really excited. I'm really happy how it's kind of all coming together.
Yeah. Is it a bit of relief that after the 4 years of putting this together, this is finally coming out?
Oh, I can't. Yeah, part of me is just like, oh man, I can't wait until this is done,
Yeah.
Move on.
Well, I guess the question that kind of goes on the back of that then is, I mean, obviously if you started working this that long ago, you must have written more songs since, right?
Yeah.
Like, do these songs seem old to you? Do you feel like your style has changed significantly since you recorded them, but you're stuck doing them because of the albums?
Yeah. I think the style is kind of almost getting a little cleaner. I don't know, almost like perfecting it a little bit more in newer stuff, but it's still like the same style. It's still Gerrit Delaquis.
Yeah.
And part of me that's part of it that keeps it interesting is actually like relearning the banjo lines and stuff like that. And
from the old songs, from the ones on the album.
From these songs, I already like long forgot about the lines, and I had to refigure them out, and it was really challenging. And I'm still practicing them now. And
have you changed any of them, like just based on the times past, sort of change your style a bit, or are they all fairly true to the?
They're fairly true. Okay. There'll be little changes. I don't know if anyone would really ever notice it.
Right. Well, again, there's so much, like we said, so much going on in the songs, right? It'd be hard to pick it out, I think,
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of those songs I've played live acoustically quite a few times, and now it's like, I'm going to play them with the full band with the banjo and stuff like that, and it's almost like a refreshing way to do it again. And
so are you not sick of them though, or is it kind of like you want to get these over with so you can work on the next thing, or?
I'm really looking forward to new stuff too.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say I'm sick of them, but I mean, it's 4 years is a long time.
It is, yeah, to sit with the same block of material, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm ready for some new stuff, like personally, but at the same time, it's still brand new. Like no one is
right. No one's heard it, right? Yeah, except for a few things you've been putting out here and there. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
A little bit of advice I got from a cousin who used to be in like a metal band. He said he suggested to me to record first before you play the songs for too long.
Okay.
So that you're kind of, because I guess with his experience was they played a lot of I guess for years playing the same songs, and then it's like, hey, let's go and record these.
Yeah.
And then okay, now you got to play them again for like another.
Yeah.
Right, because the album's out now, and
So
yeah.
I kind of took that advice, and it's like, okay, play some shows, but also like get the recordings done so that you can play these and people can walk away with something in their hand.
And I guess it won't get stale that way because when you recorded them, they're still fresh, right?
Yeah.
So then that way, if you've been playing for 3 years and kind of sick of it, right? It's got to be okay. Fine, I'm doing this again. Here's yeah.
Oh man, yeah, that'd be a little tough.
Yeah,
to do
for sure.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll take less time to record whatever the follow up is going to be? Like, are you now that you have the band sorted out and you've got the album coming out? Are you sort of in go mode, or are you going to just take it slowly, or however it comes?
I'm kind of in go mode right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got at least. I don't want to put it out in a full length album first. I don't know if that's like what most people do. I guess a lot of people do EPs and stuff like that first. I kind of have like another group of 5 songs that I'm just about ready to like go and record them now.
Oh, cool.
And I'm just about leaning towards doing just like an EP for the next one and kind of get another batch out.
Right.
Not too long after.
Right. Keep the momentum going, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Keep it going.
I'm lost in the wind, caught up in the warm breeze. The draft blew us aside, then they unite us. Flowing over now, catching the debris. Yeah, and save it for later, assuming it's free. Someday it'll all make sense. The arrow is pointing to you. The cold cloud by the moon is new. I hope you will see it soon too. The arrow is pointing to you. I hope you will see it soon too. Yeah, the arrow is pointing to you, to you. Yeah, the arrow is pointing to you, to you. Is pointing to you. I'm found floating at sea, drifting peacefully. The smoke crushes into it all. Now I see differently. The sun hurts my eyes. The light it fills the skies. I lay and feel the warmth. Yeah, assuming I'm free. Someday it'll all make sense. The arrow is pointing to you. The cold cloud by the moon is new. I hope you will see it soon too. Someday it'll all make sense. The arrow is pointing to you. The cold cloud by the moon is new. I hope you will see it soon too. The arrow is pointing to you. I hope you will see it soon too. Yeah, the arrow is pointing to you, to you. Yeah, the arrow is pointing to you. It's pointing to you. It's pointing to you.
Do you think you'll record with the full band for whatever the next thing is, or is it going to be more the same style?
I'm not sure. not sure where it's.
I guess for convenience sake, you could do it yourself, right? That would probably save you some time, but
Yeah.
or maybe not. I don't know. But you took 4 years for the first one, right?
I know. Yeah. I'm not sure. I still got to do some thinking. I do want to push more of like a full band sound.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll still do little smaller acoustic shows too.
Yeah.
Solo stuff, but I do want to go for more of like a full band sound.
Cool.
So that's kind of what I'd probably aim to do.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are you planning on touring or anything on the back of this release, or?
I would. I'd be interested in doing it. I got like no experience in that at all, and not even like too many like connections outside. So
Yeah.
it's probably like a little bit too early for me to go and do that.
Right.
I wouldn't want to go and just epic fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very daunting move
You've
for
done
a
it.
lot of things, right? Yeah.
Farthest I ever went
for a
outside
lot
the
of
city was
people.
Brandon, so
Yeah.
so it's my extent of touring. Portage and Brandon is it. That's all I ever did. But
All the way to Brandon.
all the way to Brandon. Yeah.
Brandon's a crazy town, though.
Crazy metal town too.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Yeah. But no, the reason I ask is because I guess you have the convenience of being able to perform with the band or as a solo artist. I mean, what you do could easily just be like, here's a guitar and a banjo, I'm going off, I'm driving to wherever and then play whatever coffee house or bar or whatever's available, right?
That's true too. Yeah.
I guess that's
Open mic nights.
one of the
along
benefits,
way.
I guess, about being able to do it stripped down versus full band.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But obviously it's all sort of... I guess you want to see how the album does first, right? And how the release show goes first, and then sort of plan future steps from there.
Yeah, like it's been definitely a learning curve, learning a lot, and been playing for so long and been in other bands and stuff, but never even tried to take it to this level before. And so, and some days you're like so high and it's like, yeah, this is awesome. Some days you're so low and it's like, man, I don't even know if I can do this anymore.
Yeah. Has there been a lot of like learning curve as far as the like the promotion and business side of things? Because that's something that comes up a lot on the show too, is that obviously it depends on where a band is in sort of their career, and what level they're at, but the way things seem to work now is that everyone just does all that themselves. There's often not a label that will handle that for you. You just kind of have to, sink or swim on your own based on your social media and all this other stuff. Like, has that been hard to kind of get a handle on, just trying to be the promoter and the artist?
It's been a lot of work. I guess a side note, I had been running a tree service with my dad the last 10 years. Okay. So I do have like business.
Okay, so you got some background. That's probably useful. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been quite useful. And
cool.
And my dad, I got a text message from my dad today, and he's like, because we're actually looking at packing up the business, and haven't even mentioned that to too many people yet. But anyways.
But now it's on the air.
Yeah, it's out there now.
Can't take it back now.
Yeah, but I got a text from my dad, and he's like, "Wow, you're just like you said, you're doing all the sections yourself." Yeah. And it's like, I learned that from running the business with you for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So otherwise, I'd be totally green.
Yeah,
not know what I'm doing at all.
So it's worked out.
It's worked out. I still got a lot to learn. The music scenes, it's different.
Yeah.
But I mean, the fundamentals of getting out there are the same, right?
Yeah. It's helped.
It's a business of one kind, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Some of those aspects I've been able to apply to the music.
That's awesome.
It's been helpful.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I guess it's one of those things that you never know, because there are bands. I mean, there are bands that I know that are amazing and should be. You hear them and you're like, this. Why are they not famous? This should be a hit single, right? And then they do, but they can handle the art part great. But the business side of things, they just have no aptitude for it, and they don't have anyone doing it for them. And so the album gets left in a drawer for 25 years, and they say, this could have been something huge, right?
I know, it's too bad.
It's just weird that that's the way things are now, because for most of music industry history, it's been just like someone signs you, and they do all that. Now everyone's just sort of floating around trying to... Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's always too bad when that happens. And you got a good project that just kind of I don't know what...
Yeah.
I guess... didn't take the rights
for whatever reason, right? Yeah.
Whatever happened, I don't know. So
how do you with your project, because it's coming out so soon and because you've spent a lot of time working on it?
Yeah.
How do you then take it to the next step? Like, what are you planning on doing to sort of make it something people are going to hear? Because it's so hard now, because there's so much choice and there's so much, everyone's fighting each other for the small amount of space that exists, for people to hear music.
Yeah. Well, I guess in April. And I don't know if it matters or not that I'm saying this or not, but the guys from Young Media there. And you've been on the show.
I'm going to be on some in a few weeks too. I've already shot a few other ones,
Really neat to see another face on that show that I recognize.
Yeah.
And
It's a great show.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it too. And so I'm pretty sure I am getting featured in April.
Nice.
Doing the April recording.
Yeah.
And I think the next month after it'll be released. I haven't talked to them in a little while now, but
cool.
I guess that's something I'm looking forward to.
It is for sure, yeah. Well, I mean, that's like a different way to get the word out too. I mean, you're doing this right now. It's a podcast. People are going to hear you.
Yeah.
But this is like full on. You can sit at home and watch a live performance, which is
video. It's
yeah,
neat.
and professional shot too, which is really cool. It's like
yeah.
Just
I think the main thing that's going to help me is just building up my connections and knowing people, and that's kind of how I think that's one of my main plans of getting out there.
Yeah, and just get people to recognize who you are, what you do.
Yeah.
And cool.
That video there that really helped too. That's
that thing I did walking my dog. Yeah.
Sean Perrin, videography there. He does nice work there.
Well, you know what? There's a lot of things like that. One of the interesting things about doing this show is that I've been doing it for 5 years now. You've been on for what, 3?
3,
something like that.
Ish.
And over that time, it's come out 6 years now. But over that time, there wasn't anyone else doing this other than CKUW and UMFM, like campus shows, right? And now there's other people doing podcasts, there's people doing video shows, there's the Village Idiots, there's Young Media, there's all these people doing this stuff, and it's like in the way that the musicians themselves have had to adapt to get the word out themselves and do all the promo stuff themselves and all that. The whole, there's like a sub-industry around it of people doing DIY everything else. Yeah. So instead of having to get yourself in a magazine, now there's people doing like a webzine or something, right? And they're doing it all DIY, and it's cool. It's like it's all cropped up around the bands that are doing the same thing. It's kind of this weird
really
DIY thing that never really changed from the 90s.
Oh, except it drastically
the format changed. It drastically changed.
Digital instead of analog.
That's the only thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
People cutting up zines in their bedroom and photocopying it is the same thing as doing a podcast.
Don't try to cut up your computer.
No.
Bad move.
Yeah.
And you got to buy a new one.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not under warranty anymore.
Once you cut it?
Yeah, if you start cutting it up.
Probably not.
Yeah.
So if people are hearing you for the first time on here, what is the best way for them to hear your music? Obviously, maybe if you want to plug the show again, and then people, if they want to check you out there, but then also, how do they find your music online, etc.?
Well, I got a few songs up on Manitoba Music up there, and I put out a single on CD Baby, Calm Cloud, that's off the album. And I'm kind of working at setting up the Bandcamp and all that stuff, so it'll be accessible there. And
what's the? I mean, so someone meets you on the street right now, and you tell them you have this album out and whatever. How do they find you? Like, what's the best thing to do to just find you and find out what you're up to and find out when your album's coming out, where they can hear your stuff, that kind of thing? Is there like a central?
A central, probably. I guess my Facebook,
my
page. Yeah, my band page there. That's kind of where I put the posters. They're always there. And, and the events are always going to be there. Okay, so people should check that out. What's the address for that? I can link to it too, but Facebook.com/Gerrit Delaquis probably.
Cool. That sounds about right. Yeah. I'll check what it actually is, and then the description of this episode I'll link to it. But and then the show. Remind people when the show is and what the details are of that CD release.
Okay, right.
Yeah,
right now you want it's
well, let's want to wait. We can.
It's March the 10th. That's next month at Le Garage Cafe. The doors will be open at 9 o'clock, and the music will be close to 10, right around there. Okay. So come and join us for a good time, some belly dance, and some good music.
Cool. And then the album, once it's out, like you said, probably Bandcamp, all those other places that people tend to get music. Yeah. Are you looking at putting it into any local stores or anything like that too, or is
I would like to. That'd be cool.
Cool.
Be really cool.
And then I guess at shows, right? When you're playing shows in the future, people can meet you there, pick it up.
Yeah, and I still got a lot to learn. I'm sure it'll pop up in other places as I kind of
hopefully
gain that knowledge.
Yeah, for sure. Well, so many places now to put it now too, right? Like just everywhere.
Yeah,
there's like 17 different streaming services and stuff, right? So
once you kind of start digging into these things, you almost get obsessed with it, and you can't really stop.
Well, there's so much. It's crazy.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Cool. All right, well, people should check out the show March 10th. They should check out our show. They should check out the CD. You can go to witchpolice.com, click on podcasts. All 270 some episodes will be there for free download and streaming. Yeah. You can go back as far as you want. Listen to something from 2000, whatever year we started.
Yeah,
whatever.
Let's go 10.
10?
Sure.
I don't think it was that bad. Whatever.
Well, it's a number.
Go to 2012
I said it.
and hear one of the really bad first episodes,
There
or
you
go to
go.
2017 and hear some of the decent ones from last year, or go to the one you just heard last week and then listen to that again.
There you go.
It's cool that you've been doing it for so long. There's a lot of history there. Right?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, it's
So much to listen to.
It sounds so exhausting.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there is.
There's a lot though. I mean, and I've talked to people about this recently. Some people have said like, "Hey, I heard your show, I liked it, but there's too much. Like, I don't know where to start."
So much.
And it's like I think just start at the most recent one, and then backtrack down.
And work your way back because you don't want to start at the beginning.
The beginning is bad. The beginning there was no structure, no guests or anything. It was
Even when you started to get into guests, you had just like idiots.
we had you on.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
That might be even more worth looking into. Your really old stuff.
Yeah, maybe if you want to sit in here 3 hours of like a couple guys babbling about records, and then this guy's showing on.
Drinking homemade wine.
Yeah.
Talking too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you learn, you live and learn, right?
Right. And you can also hear newer episodes on UMFM on Sundays at midnight, and those are from a few months earlier. There's a bit of a delay, so it's mid-February right now we're recording this, and it might not air till like July or something. Cool. But the cool thing about that is your album will already be out.
Yeah.
And hopefully, people will have heard your name around, you'll be getting more of a buzz, and then, hey, look, it's on the radio.
Yeah.
I can go buy this right now. So
yeah,
it's kind of an extra added bonus to get the second wind of the show.
That's right.
And obviously, anything social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Witchpolice, you're going to find this. So
yeah,
follow and all that. Do you have anything you want to
Well, this coming out in March, I will still have pieces up on display at the Handsome Daughter for the Suspended Animation Show, which is all cartoon-related, local Winnipeg artists, curated by J.D. Renault. I've got a big wall. It says my name under my shit. It's buy off the wall. Go in, see something you like, pay the bar, they'll get the money to the artist, which presumably will be me, and then we'll put new stuff up. So I think it's up there till April or June.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Not May.
No, May's out.
April or June.
Yeah. Definitely not May. Maybe May. I don't know. I'm not in the know.
All right, well, go to the Handsome Daughter if you're hearing this, and if it's there,
and buy some stuff.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. All right, well, thanks a lot for having us.
Oh, I really appreciate
for sure.
you coming down.
When I say you're lovely,
Your smile could kill me.
when I see you walking,
I hope you come back to me, pretty lady.
when I say you're lovely,
Your smile could kill me.
when I see you walking,
I hope you come back to me, pretty lady.
'cause even if I was to try,
You still wouldn't leave my mind.
I think about you during day
And dream about you during night. I hope you never leave me. I hope you always stay. Good things, they don't last forever.
but I wish this would anyway. When I say you're lovely, your smile could kill me.
When I see you walking, I hope you come back to me, pretty lady.
When I say you're lovely, your smile could kill me.
When I see you walking, I hope you come back to me, pretty lady.
'Cause even if I was to try,
You still wouldn't leave my mind.
I think about you during day
And dream about you during night. I hope you never